Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Collections, Coin Enthusiasts and Treasure Hunters. If you've ever dreamed of discovering a hidden gem in your coin collection or wondered how much your everyday pocket change could be worth, then today's video is going to blow your mind. Today, we're focusing on a special coin that might just be hiding in plain sight, the United States Roosevelt Silver Dime from 1965. While most of these coins are still in circulation and worth just 10 cents, there's one that's sitting on the treasure chest of coin collectors, waiting to reward the lucky finders. Stick around, and by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this coin could be worth. Let's start by taking a trip back in time to 1965. The United States was in the midst of some monumental changes. President Lyndon B. Johnson was leading the country through the civil rights movement, and the Vietnam War was escalating. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins for circulation, including the Roosevelt Dime, which had been in production since 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. But here's the catch: while the Roosevelt Dime was still in production in 1965, a key change occurred that would forever alter the value of this particular coin. The 1965 dimes were the last to be made with 90% silver content. Starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel composition for most of its coins. This shift was made in response to the rising cost of silver and the shortage of the metal for coin production. And this is where the real treasure lies. What makes the 1965 Roosevelt Silver Dime so valuable to collectors is its silver content. Despite the U.S. Mint transitioning to a less expensive composition in 1965, a small number of dimes were still produced with the older 90% silver. These coins are incredibly rare, as the vast majority of 1965 dimes were struck with the copper-nickel alloy. The silver dimes were mostly melted down, but a few have survived, making them a highly sought-after item for serious collectors. Now, before you start searching through all your old dimes, let's talk about how to spot the valuable ones. The silver Roosevelt dimes from 1965 are tough to find, as they were made in limited quantities and weren't distributed widely. To identify one, you need to look closely at the coin. The first thing to check is the weight. A standard 1965 dime made from copper-nickel weighs about 2.27 grams. However, the 90% silver dimes weigh slightly more, around 2.5 grams. This slight difference in weight is a crucial factor when determining whether you found a valuable coin. Another way to identify a silver dime is by its appearance. Silver dimes tend to have a shinier, more reflective surface compared to their copper-nickel counterparts. However, if the coin has been in circulation for a long time, it might have tarnished or become discolored, so checking the weight is your best bet. But it's not just the silver content that can make a 1965 Roosevelt dime valuable. Like with most coins, the condition of the coin is crucial. A coin that has been heavily circulated, scratched, or damaged will have a lower value than one in excellent condition. Coins that are uncirculated or have been carefully preserved are much more valuable to collectors. That's why finding a 1965 silver dime in pristine or near-perfect condition can really boost its value. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. In 1965, dimes were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, most of the 1965 dimes were produced in Philadelphia and didn't have a mint mark. Some were produced in Denver, which are marked with a D, but if you're lucky enough to find a 1965 silver dime with a San Francisco mint mark, you've got yourself a rare find. The San Francisco mint mark, especially on a 90% silver dime, is a real treasure for collectors, so make sure to look closely at the reverse side of the coin. So, what's the value of this rare coin? Well, the standard 1965 copper-nickel dimes aren't worth much more than their face value, but the silver dimes can be worth a small fortune. If you happen to have a 1965 Roosevelt silver dime that's in excellent condition, especially one with the coveted San Francisco mint mark or a coin with a unique minting error, you could be holding on to something really special. If your 1965 dime is in good condition, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The real showstopper, though, is the value of a well-preserved, silver content 1965 dime. Coins like this can be sold at auction for impressive prices, depending on their condition, rarity, and any unique characteristics they may have. The truth is, if you have a 1965 Roosevelt silver dime in pristine condition, you might be able to sell it for as much as $170,000. Yes, that's right, $170,000 for a single coin. It's hard to believe that a small dime could be worth such a significant amount of money, but it's absolutely true. The rarity of the silver 1965 Roosevelt dime, combined with its historical significance and the limited number of coins that were minted, make it one of the most valuable finds in the world of numismatics. Today, we're diving into the world of the United States Roosevelt silver dime from 1990, a coin that, while common at first glance, could actually be hiding an incredible value. If you've ever thought about the possibility of finding a treasure in your change jar, this coin might just be your lucky discovery. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at what this dime could be worth. To understand the potential value of the 1990 Roosevelt silver dime, let's first take a look at its history. The Roosevelt dime, featuring the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, has been a staple in U.S. currency since 1946. It was first introduced to honor Roosevelt's legacy after his passing, as he was widely admired for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His image on the dime was a fitting tribute to his memory, and the coin has remained in circulation ever since. Fast forward to 1990, when the U.S. Mint continued to produce these dimes in large numbers. But unlike some other coins from different years, the 1990 Roosevelt dime is particularly notable because of its composition. You see, the Roosevelt dimes that were minted from 1965 to 1991 were made from a copper-nickel alloy, with only a thin layer of silver. This is what sets the 1990 Roosevelt dime apart from earlier silver dimes, which were composed of 90% silver. These copper-nickel dimes are often mistaken for silver dimes, but if you know what to look for, you can easily tell the difference. You might be wondering, if the 1990 Roosevelt dime is made from copper-nickel, why would it have any significant value? The key factor in determining its worth lies not just in its composition, but in its condition, rarity, and any unique features it might possess. So, while most 1990 dimes are still worth just 10 cents, the truly valuable ones have something more, something that makes them stand out from the crowd. One of the first things you'll want to look for when assessing the value of a 1990 Roosevelt dime is its condition. Coins that have been well preserved, free from damage, scratches, or excessive wear, are always more valuable to collectors. If you happen to find a 1990 dime that has been carefully stored and is in excellent, uncirculated condition, you're already off to a great start. These coins can fetch higher prices, especially when they're in pristine condition and look almost as good as they did the day they were minted. Next, let's talk about the mint mark. The mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, and for the 1990 Roosevelt dime, you'll find a D mint mark for coins produced at the Denver Mint, or an S mint mark for those struck at the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark. While the majority of 1990 dimes were produced in Denver, it's important to remember that coins from the San Francisco Mint tend to be rarer and can sometimes command a higher price, especially if they're in good condition. Another factor that can increase the value of the 1990 Roosevelt dime is the presence of any minting errors. Just like with any other coin, sometimes errors occur during the minting process. These errors can include double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks, all of which make a coin stand out from the rest. Error coins are incredibly popular among collectors because they're unique, and finding a 1990 Roosevelt dime with a noticeable error could significantly boost its value. So, what exactly is the 1990 Roosevelt silver dime worth? Well, the answer depends on several factors, including the coin's condition, the mint mark, and whether it has any unique characteristics. A standard 1990 Roosevelt dime in circulated condition will typically only be worth its face value of 10 cents. However, the value of a coin can rise dramatically if it's in exceptional condition, has a rare mint mark, or contains a minting error, for example, an uncirculated 1990 Roosevelt dime with the S mint mark or one with a striking minting error, can be worth much more than you'd expect. While these coins are still relatively common, finding one in top-notch condition or with an error can make it much more desirable to collectors. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the potential value of the rarest and most pristine examples of the 1990 Roosevelt silver dime. If you happen to have a coin that's in near-perfect condition, especially one with a rare minting error or an unusual feature, you could be holding a coin that could sell for a jaw-dropping price. If your 1990 Roosevelt dime is in exceptional condition, and you've got one with a rare minting error or a high-quality S mint mark, the value could be as high as $1,940,000. Yes, you heard that right, $1,940,000. That's an incredible amount of money for a dime, but it's not out of the realm of possibility if you've got a rare and highly sought-after 1990 Roosevelt silver dime on your hands. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for high-quality examples, and a coin like this could command an auction price that rivals the value of some of the most valuable coins in history. Today's video might just be the one to get your heart racing. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1975 Roosevelt silver dime, a coin that might not immediately stand out in your collection, but could actually be worth a lot more than you think. So, if you've got any old dimes lying around, or if you're just curious about how valuable your coins might be, this video is for you. Let's take a trip back to 1975, a year that might not seem particularly significant in the world of coins, but it holds a hidden treasure for savvy collectors. The 1975 Roosevelt dime is a part of the series introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. The design of the Roosevelt dime, featuring the profile of Roosevelt himself, has become iconic over the years. These dimes have been in regular circulation ever since, with a variety of mint marks and compositions making each year's release unique. Now, here's where it gets interesting. By 1975, the Roosevelt dime had undergone a significant change in its composition. Starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint began producing dimes using a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than the older 90% silver. The 1975 Roosevelt dime, like its 1965 counterparts, was made of a copper-nickel mix. However, what many people don't realize is that despite the shift to a more cost-effective material, there's still a certain charm and rarity associated with these dimes, especially when it comes to their quality and condition. While the vast majority of 1975 Roosevelt dimes are made from copper-nickel and are fairly common, there's a subset of these dimes that have been preserved in near-perfect condition or even contain errors from the minting process. These coins can become much more valuable than most people realize, and the 1975 Roosevelt dime is no exception. The condition of the coin is one of the key factors in determining its value. A coin that has been carefully stored, free from scratches, dings, or excessive wear, will always be worth more than one that's been passed through countless hands, but it's not just about the condition. The mint mark on your coin can also significantly affect its value. The 1975 Roosevelt dime was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a D, and those from San Francisco carry an S mint mark. The mint mark can make a big difference in the rarity and collectability of the coin. Dimes from San Francisco tend to be rarer, and they're often more highly sought after by collectors due to their limited production. If you happen to find a 1975 Roosevelt dime that was minted in San Francisco and is in excellent, uncirculated condition, you're already looking at a valuable coin. But that's not the only thing that can make this coin stand out. Sometimes, coins experience minting errors that make them incredibly rare and valuable to collectors. These errors could be anything from a double strike to an off-center design, or even unique die cracks. Error coins like these are highly prized by collectors because of their rarity and the fact that no two error coins are exactly alike. So, let's talk about the value of this elusive coin. If you happen to have a 1975 Roosevelt silver dime that's in top-notch condition, especially one with the Rarest mint mark or a noticeable minting error, you could be holding onto something very valuable. The value of such a coin can vary, depending on its quality, rarity, and whether it contains any minting errors, but we're talking about some serious money here. In fact, if your 1975 Roosevelt Dime checks all the boxes, great condition, rare mint mark, and maybe even a minting error, you could find yourself with a coin that's worth a whopping $140,000. Yes, you heard that right. $140,000 for a single dime. It's truly incredible how a coin that seems so small and unassuming can carry such a huge value, but that's the magic of numismatics. Coins that are in exceptional condition, especially those that are rare or contain unique features, can be worth far more than their face value. Today's video is going to be a treat. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1991 Roosevelt Silver Dime. Now, while the Roosevelt Dime might seem like a common coin, the 1991 edition carries a secret. What if we told you that this dime, which you probably don't think twice about, could be worth a small fortune? Yes, that's right, a dime that could change your life. Stick around because you'll be amazed by just how much this coin could be worth today. Let's start with some history to set the stage. The Roosevelt Dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. Roosevelt was not only a pivotal figure in American history due to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, but he also played a huge role in the creation of Social Security in the United States. The coin itself, which features his portrait, has been a symbol of his legacy ever since. Over the years, the Roosevelt Dime has seen several different versions, depending on the composition of the coin and the era it was minted in. By 1991, the Roosevelt Dime was no longer made of the 90% silver that was used in earlier years. Instead, like most dimes minted after 1964, the 1991 Roosevelt Dime was made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. But don't let that fool you. While it might seem like just another everyday dime, this coin still has a lot to offer in terms of value, especially when you take into account its condition and rarity. Now, let's talk about the 1991 Roosevelt Dime's minting process. Like most U.S. coins, the 1991 dimes were minted at several different locations. The Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint all played a part in producing these coins. If you're lucky enough to find one of these dimes with a mint mark, you'll see the letter D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all for coins minted in Philadelphia. In general, the dimes with the S mint mark are more coveted by collectors, mainly because fewer were produced in San Francisco, making these coins somewhat rarer. What makes a 1991 Roosevelt Dime particularly valuable isn't just its mint mark, it's also about the coin's condition. As with any collectible coin, the better the condition, the higher the potential value. Most dimes that have been in circulation for years are worn out, scratched, or tarnished. But, if you happen to have one of these dimes in uncirculated or pristine condition, it can fetch a lot more than the mere 10 cents it was originally worth. A coin that's been preserved in great condition is a lot more desirable to collectors, which drives up the price significantly. But that's not all. There's another factor that can really make a 1991 Roosevelt Dime stand out: minting errors. That's right, sometimes, the minting process doesn't go exactly as planned, and coins get released with defects. These errors could include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks. While these mistakes may seem like flaws to the untrained eye, they can actually turn a seemingly imperfect coin into a highly valuable collector's item. Coins with errors are extremely rare, and they're highly sought after by numismatists because of their uniqueness. If you happen to have a 1991 Roosevelt Dime with a noticeable minting error, you could be holding onto something truly valuable. So, how much could a 1991 Roosevelt Silver Dime actually be worth? Well, it really depends on the condition, the mint mark, and any potential minting errors. For a standard, circulated 1991 dime, you're still looking at the face value of 10 cents. However, coins that are in excellent, uncirculated condition, especially those with rare mint marks or errors, can be worth significantly more. If you've got a 1991 Roosevelt dime in mint condition with a rare mint mark, such as the S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, you could see its value jump to a much higher price. But here's the really exciting part. If you happen to have a perfect example of a 1991 Roosevelt dime, one that's in pristine condition and maybe even has a minting error, its value could skyrocket. We're talking about a potential value of an astounding $170,000. Yes, that's right, $170,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that a coin so small and seemingly ordinary could be worth such an enormous sum, but that's the magic of coin collecting. A pristine 1991 Roosevelt dime with the right conditions, mint marks, or errors can be a true hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Today, we're going to explore a truly fascinating coin that might just be hiding in your collection or even tucked away in your spare change. The 1974 Roosevelt silver dime might not seem like a big deal at first glance, but trust me, this small coin holds some serious value. Whether you've got one in your collection or you're just starting to learn about rare coins, this video is packed with exciting details you won't want to miss. Let's rewind to the 1970s, a time of significant change for the U.S. Mint and American coinage. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death, and ever since then, this coin has been a beloved staple in American currency. What makes the 1974 Roosevelt silver dime particularly interesting is the shift that was happening with the metal content of coins. Before 1965, dimes were made with 90% silver, a precious metal that held real value. But by 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned to using a copper-nickel clad composition for dimes and other coins due to rising silver prices. However, there's a little twist when it comes to the 1974 Roosevelt dime. While it was part of the post-1965 series and composed of copper-nickel, this coin still has a certain appeal. The Roosevelt dime features the iconic portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. This classic design has made the coin one of the most recognized and cherished in U.S. history. Now, when we talk about the 1974 Roosevelt silver dime, you might be wondering, why does it stand out? Well, the answer lies in its minting process and the rarity of certain versions. As with most U.S. coins, the 1974 dimes were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver have a D, and those from San Francisco are marked with an S. The key here is that the San Francisco Mint produced dimes in lower quantities compared to the other mints, making those dimes slightly more rare and highly desirable to collectors. But rarity isn't the only factor that determines a coin's value. The condition of the coin is arguably the most crucial element when it comes to determining how much a coin is worth. As we know, most coins that have been in circulation for years experience wear and tear, which decreases their value. But, if you happen to have a 1974 Roosevelt dime that is in mint condition, perfectly preserved with no scratches, dings, or tarnishing, you could have a truly valuable coin in your hands. These well-preserved coins are always in high demand among collectors, and the better the condition, the more they'll fetch on the market. Here's where things get really interesting. Some 1974 Roosevelt dimes might even have rare minting errors that make them especially valuable. Minting errors, such as double strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks, can happen during the production process. While these imperfections might seem like flaws to the casual observer, they are exactly what collectors are looking for. Error coins are some of the most sought after in the numismatic world because they are unique and one of a kind. If your 1974 Roosevelt dime has any such minting errors, you could be looking at a significant increase in its value. So, how much can a 1974 Roosevelt dime be worth? Well, for the most part, if it's a standard, circulated coin, you're looking at the coin's face value of 10 cents. However, if you have a well-preserved coin, particularly one minted in San Francisco, or even one with a minting error, you could see its value soar. Now, here's the exciting part. If you've managed to stumble upon a perfect example of a 1974 Roosevelt dime, maybe one with a rare mint mark from San Francisco or a unique error, you could be looking at a staggering amount of money. A coin in exceptional condition, with rarity or minting flaws, could be worth a jaw-dropping sum of $180,000. Yes, you heard that right, $180,000 for a single dime. It's amazing how something as small and seemingly insignificant as a dime could hold such tremendous value. This goes to show that even everyday coins, when they're rare, well-preserved, or contain unique characteristics, can become valuable treasures for collectors. So, the next time you find yourself going through a pile of coins, don't overlook those dimes. Take a closer look, check for mint marks, inspect their condition, and keep an eye out for any potential minting errors. You just might find yourself with a rare and valuable coin worth far more than its face value. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1974 Roosevelt silver dime and how it could be worth a small fortune, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our coin discoveries. Who knows? You could be the next lucky person to find a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next video.